In this video, we're going to see how we can create a roof for this cottage. That's about all that's left right now to create the roofs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the roof button here under the build panel. So there is a roof, and again, like what we've seen in the wall button, there is a drop down. This is called a split button, so it's split into other things that we can use as well: the roof by extrusion, roof by face, soffits, fascia, and gutters. So there are other elements that we can use when creating roofs, but for now we just need to create a roof by footprint to create a gable roof for this particular cottage that we're creating. So I'm going to use my roof button. I'm going to click on the roof button, and it's going to ask me, you have created the roof on the lowest level, would you like to move it to level 2? Now when you create a roof, obviously it needs to be on the upper level, so we need to create the roof at the level 2. We mistakenly started creating the roof on level 1, so it's asking us, do you really want to do this, or do you want to change the level? I do want to change the level. I want to bring it up to level 2, so I'm going to say level 2 and say yes. And then you begin to see a familiar set of tools, the sketch tools that we've seen previously. So we're going to use those sketch tools to sketch out a roof. Now the easiest one to use is the pick wall. So like I can click on these walls, like the same way that we created the flow, we can use an overhang here and create the roof. I could also use the rectangle tool, but just for consistency's sake, I'm going to use pick walls, and I'm going to use an overhang, let's say about 1 foot of an overhang. And when I click on move my mouse cursor over it, you begin to see the dotted outline, right? And you need to make sure that this is the correct wall is selected for one, and also the correct side. Your mouse is moving towards the correct side of the wall, so it needs to be at the outer edge of the wall. So I'm going to click here, and you begin to see some numbers. Now these numbers, what this says is this side is going to have a slope. We don't really want a slope here, and it's saying the slope is going to be 9 and 12, and we don't want 9 and 12. We want to change this to, let's say, about I don't know, about 5 and 12, I think. So we can change that after the fact as well. We don't necessarily need to change it here, but we can change it after the fact. Let's just sketch the roof first, and then worry about these aspects later on. So I'm gonna start sketching the roof. So I have the whole sketch now. Once I'm done, what I can do is I can click on the green checkbox and see what happened. So let's go into the birdhouse icon. There we go. Now this is not the roof that we want. It's a hip roof. We want a gable roof, and the pitch is a little bit different. The pitch is actually okay. We can change it as well. And also the material of the roof, it seems to be really thick. We can change that here as well. Let's do that first. So I'm going to go into the type select, and I'm going to change it to 9 inches. Now 9 inches, still it looks thick, and what we can do is we can select the wall and edit the type. Now remember, when you click on edit type, if you edit this, it's going to edit all of the 9 inches. So before editing this, good practice is to duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate this and change it to a 6-inch generic roof, right? So I changed the name here, but it doesn't really do much except changing the name of it. So what I want to do is I want to go here and change the structure of the roof. So I'm going to go and click on edit, and here the structure of the roof, it says it's 9 inches, and I want it to be 6 inches. So I'm going to say okay. Once I'm done, say okay here, and now it's changed. We have a 6-inch roof. The thickness of it is 6 inches. The next thing that I want to do, I'm going to go back to my level 2 where my roof is located. Now this is my roof, and what I can do is I can edit the footprint. And when I select it, I can change these factors. I can change the slope. Now on the properties panel also you see these. I want the slopes to be on these two sides, but here I don't want the slope, so I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to go here, I'm going to uncheck define slope. If you expand this, what it says is it's defined slope, so I just uncheck those, and these are the only two sides that's going to have a slope. Let's see how that looks like. I'm going to finish this sketch, I'm going to go up, and there we go. I think that looks fine for the slope, but just for just so that we know, let's change the slope as well. We can edit this in 3D in the 3D space as well, so I'm going to do that. And what I can do is I can change this by clicking on it and change it to 5 and 12. Let's do the same thing on this side, otherwise it's going to look weird. So there we go. And once I'm done editing, I can click on the green checkbox. There we go. Well, the previous one I liked it how it was, the 9 and 12 one. Let's go back and do the 9 and 12 so that it looks a little bit better. There we go, 9, and this one's going to be 9 and 12 as well. All right. So that's it, and we've added a roof. Now let's say if you wanted a flat roof, all you need to do is edit footprint, and if I said no slopes here and no slopes here, now it becomes a flat roof. Quite easily done, right? So that's the way that you create roofs. You know how to create a flat roof, you know how to create a simple gable roof, a simple hip roof. There are other plugins that we'll talk about in order to create complex roof structures. You don't have to manually create these roofs. There are plugins that we will be looking at later on in order to create complex roof structures. But for now, you should know how to create a simple flat roof, a hip roof, and a gable roof, and that's what it does. So let's go back and undo what we did. I want the angles, so there we go. So that's our roof. The next issue that I'm seeing is I have these walls. There is a gap between the wall and the roof. I want those walls to go up to the roof. So what I can do is I can select the wall and say attach top to base. When I select it, the context panel pops up. I can say attach top to base, and it goes and attaches itself onto the base. Now I don't want to do this one by one, so I'm going to select all of the walls that I have, and I'm going to say attach top to base, and attach it to the roof like so. So that's how you create the roof and attach the walls to the roof. In the next video, we'll take a look at another way to create roofs, especially with regard to roofs by extrusion.